Hello.
I was hoping you would just ignore me and go live while I
I
was
know,
still
I
saying.
know, I know what
I
you're trying to
wanted it
pull.
so
I
bad.
know what you're trying to pull.
All right.
Running a professional cast here, Brandon.
Are we? Are we really?
That's what we're trying to pass it off as, at least.
Oh, okay, got it.
So, yeah.
Tonight, more CEVO-Main. Week 2 continues. Week 2-1 specifically. This is a CEVO-Main matchup between GameSense and Solid Frag. Solid Frag, of course, of ESEA main fame, now of CEVO-Main fame. Clay, I'm liking this one, and I'm going to tell you why. It's because it's on a map we don't regularly see, and do you know what map I'm referring to?
DE Mirage, and not only Mirage, but Valve's version of Mirage.
Absolutely. And you know, people have to get used to this one because this one in particular is now tournament standard for the majority of the European tournaments, and as we move forward, probably some more American tournaments, including CEVO.
Yes.
So, if we can do our normal spiel, we normally talk about, like, you know, the day-to-day news of CSGO, what's going on, who's doing what, and honestly, I don't want to do that today. Today, I want to talk about burgers.
I was going to say, I know what you want to talk about.
I want to talk about a patty, lettuce, bacon, chilies, cheddar cheese on a sesame seed bun. It's called the McNip, and I want one.
Oh, you're probably going to have to fly to Sweden for that.
Well, can I have it imported, flown in to me? We're big time now. We're in studio with CEVO. Clearly, I'm not in studio.
Probably end up with some food poisoning or something, I don't know.
CEVO would give me food poisoning?
No, the having it flown in.
No, McDonald's food can last through like multiple like dark ages. I've heard it live through like an Arctic tundra once. Just
That's true.
yeah.
I think there's some story of someone finding like a old cheeseburger or something and they ate it or something. I don't know. That was like a couple of years old. Perfectly fine.
McDonald's?
Yeah. Like there was no mold or anything on it. It looked
That's
exactly
that's
the
what
same as
scares
the day
you
it
about
was made.
yeah, that should scare you about some of the things you're eating. I know somebody did that with a really ancient Twinkie. I don't know what the results were, but I heard a story.
Twinkies. No, Twinkies do have an expiration date.
Well, you know, like in 3012 during the apocalypse.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what I was thinking. What was that movie? Zombieland. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. Yeah, yeah, Zombieland. My HUD is significantly in disarray. I'm going to try to reconnect. I am also in the GoTV server. Are you?
I am, but I'm alt tabbed because I don't want that game sound going on from people warming up. How many people were in there when you reconnected right there?
It is 6.
Okay, I guess I might as well switch to that screen then. People are probably tired of looking at us anyways.
No one's ever tired of looking at you, Clay. Have you showed them your frosted Stein?
No, I have not.
You should.
It's not so frosty anymore, so
It's just
not
a
as impressive.
clear plastic, no head beer.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
that's not nearly as attractive. So let's go to CS then.
So yes, the teams tonight is going to be Solid Frag versus GameSense, as Brandon said. Solid Frag from ESEA Main, and GameSense from CEVO Open. And
Now promoted to CEVO.
Yeah, promoted to CEVO Main. One of the finalists in the CEVO Open playoffs. So I'm interested to see how they will be performing. Apparently, people are saying that GameSense is going to be throwing, so they could get easier matchups in the rest of the season. But the problem with that is I don't think it's going to get any easier. If you make it to playoffs, you're still going to be facing, probably complexity.
If you're bottom seed playoffs, guess what? You're facing complexity. Like, good luck with that one.
Yeah.
I think the idea for their thought process is throw the matches, get barely into the playoffs, and hope that's enough to qualify you for invite. But you can game the system. It's your own prerogative. But I'm not sure that the CEVO admins, and we are not the CEVO admins, will reward you for that system. We'll see. And honestly, if you throw matches, there's absolutely no guarantee against a field as good as CEVO-Main's. And this is a good field for once. That you can even claw your way back out into the playoff seeding.
Yeah, probably not the best strategy going into the year.
7 in the server thus far. We recognize a lot of the names. We have casted GameSense before. I think we've all seen a solid Frag match here or there in CEVO-Main. So this one has some marquee names, and I'm looking for some contributions for a couple of players on each roster since we are familiar with both. Clay, for me, I'm looking for a play or two from Jolteon from Solid Frag. I'm particularly looking for a play from Banana Slamma from GameSense. Now, Banana Slamma, who many of you will not recognize, actually made some pretty clutch plays during the playoffs when we casted them. He was oftentimes a lurk, making the double kill, and also he was a dedicated entry at times.
Yeah, and I'd have to agree with that just as much. Probably going to see some good stuff from Danimal as well. I remember him quite well from the previous season, so probably look out for him as well. But yeah, I do believe Banana Slamma was probably the all-star in the playoffs that we saw, like you said. And gonna be interesting to see how they match up here against this CEVO-Main proven team. So
CEVO-Main teams.
Mean teams.
This one will get underway in just a little bit here. Those of you who had tuned in earlier wanting to see the iBuy Power versus, that's going to take some time to get used to saying, the iBuy Power versus, who was it, Clay? Do you remember?
Oh, man.
Shoot.
It was a team I had never heard of, so that's why I'm blanking here. But they...
no, you have. Yeah, you had. It was just that good.
Just that good. There you go.
Yeah, we had heard of them before. That game never happened. I think iBuy Power was unable to field 5 in particular today, so we will not be showing that one.
That was a week 3 match rescheduled anyway, so I think we should be seeing that coming up. I believe Just That Good was undefeated, so I was actually really looking forward to that one. So I was a little disappointed that it didn't get to get casted, but you know, I'm sure we'll see it coming up soon.
We can only hope. This one will get underway in just a little bit here. Clay, let's talk about the map. It's different. We know that. Visually, it's distinctively different. The spawn is a little bit thinner. You know, mid has a different aesthetic to it. But for the most part, Valve has stayed very true to the original Mirage counterpart. But the pros, especially the European pros, beg to differ.
Yeah, they do. I don't know if I agree. I mean, my only main concern is that the smoke mid, but from what I've heard is you could still do it. You know, that I thought that would take away a big advantage for the terrorists, but if you could still smoke it, then no big deal. I mean, I know you can still smoke out A and smoke out B from the respective areas, so, you know, taking those the sites should be relatively similar as they were before. The only main difference in A that I could think of is the, not really the spammable boxes that used to be there before.
That is actually very, very different, though, because they're at an angle, so nades now bump off of them and fly in directions that are conducive to killing people who are using the site. Also, they're not pierceable, which was a huge piece of gameplay that players used for retakes, which people obviously lament. And if you can add one more, Clay, it's a very, very easily accessible electrical quad box, which is now sort of a staircase. And because there's no jumping there, you don't lose any accuracy when running up those staircases. It's a much different ordeal now fighting from on top of those quads.
Yeah, so putting the favor slightly into the CT's hands, but it's kind of like how the new remake of Caches, you know, on that CT Heaven area in B, if I remember correctly.
That's right, there is a ramp there now.
Yeah.
So that particular piece does favor the CTs. The very solid boxes, it's a matter of whose opinion you're referring to here, but that can affect anybody depending on defender or attacker or retake or first take. This map is the official one, though, so this is the one we're going to have to get used to, and we like it. We understand why it exists, and we understand why it should exist and why people should adopt it. It is what Valve needs to have uniformity and have people be interested in seeing this instead of seeing retro 2004 era graphics. There are just a couple of edits that people would like. Ease of sky nades over at B or in the B outer walkway or that tunnel or whatever you'd like to refer to as, and a couple of more gameplay angles that people are working toward. But Clay, it's close. It is close. It's much closer than other maps had been when they were first iterated. Look at, for instance, Train when it first launched. People didn't really have too many complaints, and they were willing to play that one as official up until a couple of recent changes. Mirage is one of the closest adaptations ever, but because the CSGO community is so picky, finicky at times, it's magnified in their complaints.
Yeah, it definitely has. And people are asking, we're not live yet. No, we are not. Waiting on one more person from GameSense to be joining. And that should be any moment now, so we should be going underway quite soon.
Clay, basic points that I'd like to go over with you. Mirage is played a lot like Dust 2, without the intricacies of playing long A at Dust 2. This map emphasizes mid control like none other, because mid is very, very long in the in the contextual sense of how big this map is in general. Mid control is one of the greatest emphasis that you could have in this map. Having mid control allows you access and advantages that give you better leverage angles to get into bomb sites. So we'll be looking for that one as a gameplay mechanic point to see people's success. And I will challenge you to look at this. We don't have the stats to back this up right now, but look at who controls mid and correlate that to rounds won. If you control mid, does your percentage of won rounds increase with the level of control that you exert at mid? I would bet that it does, and I would love to see a real metric behind that. But I would put serious money behind that thought, Clay. I
would agree as well. Maybe in these matches, these lower level skilled matches, I guess, if you want to say, it might not be as important. We might see just A or B getting worked more, especially if they do know their set smokes and they could smoke out the sites effectively. Then mid control might not be as important. This
particularly is not a low skill match. This is a CEVO-Main, which is the highest division in this league.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Not the invite level caliber that has joined main recently, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
You were talking about mid control.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely agree that mid control is an effective key to winning rounds here on this match, and I think we're going to see probably a setup from the counter terrorists, maybe a 1-3-1 setup where you have one person playing in the deep B site, one person mid window, one person playing cat, and then one playing connector, watching the apartments as well as ramp, and there for the backup in case they do go mid, and then one just in the A side as well to really put the heavy presence onto mid and establish that control.
And people will ask you, Clay, isn't that a 2-1-2? Isn't that a traditional 2-1-2, what you just described? Not particularly, not when you talk about the assignment that people are given on a defensive hold here. People lean toward mid as a priority instead of a secondary assignment when it becomes a 1-3-1, and that's because mid control is so essential in this map.
Yeah, definitely agree. Someone asked, how come we're not streaming Pug Kings versus Reliable? I believe, didn't they play their match yesterday?
Oh, Pug Kings versus Reliable is scheduled for 2 hours from now, unless they've rescheduled it recently. Otherwise, well, we would.
No,
somebody give it.
Not Pug King. Pug Kings played yesterday. It's
Exertus versus Reliable
playing 2 hours from now. Yeah.
Exertus versus Reliable is 2 hours from now. We will questionably not be casting that match because of how many DOS problems it faced, or DDoS problems it faced. As a precaution, we don't want to be attacked. We don't want to expose our IPs to being attacked, so we will not be casting that one. If we do get the green light to do that, and our producers tell us yes, then of course we will hop over and try to do that one for you. I, in particular, would love to. That's a match. That's a CEVO marquee matchup, if you ask me.
Yeah, I think that would be a great matchup, especially since we saw Exertus doing quite well, beating Complexity in the first week and then having a little bit of struggle versus iBuyPower. So they're kind of bouncing back and forth. So I really want to see them, see where they're going to establish themselves this season so far.
And for me, this is just something that really, really scratches my head. Reliable is on a roller coaster. They look unstoppable some weeks, and in other weeks they look out of form, and they had some trouble playing against the Season 2 CEVO-Main champions in Afterlife. I just want to get a litmus test, a little bit of an idea of where their heads are at.
Yeah, I definitely agree. We saw them in they dominated. Was it Any Revival? Was it that they completely smashed? Yeah, they actually came out and beat not Denial. It was Homeless at the time, who had a crazy roster, and they just came in and just annihilated those guys with pretty easily. So yeah, like you said, they seem to be hot 1 minute and then cold the next. So they're just going back and forth as well. So I think that was going to be a really good matchup between Reliable and Exertus, and it would be a good match to cast.
It would be, but today we focus on 2 other teams, and that match is not right now. In the here and now, we have Solid Frag versus GameSense, and this one will be live in a... Is this live? No, it's not. This one will be live in a couple of restarts, as actually, they timed it right. As soon as I said restarts, they restarted. Clay, you ready?
Yeah.
You ready for me to do my...
Do your big, deep breath followed by the intro.
Maybe what if I just go with a subdued intro?
Go for it. Hey guys,
welcome
it's CEVO TV.
Welcome to week 2 of CEVO-Main. I am Cotton, my partner is Klops. You are watching Solid Frag take on GameSense in the first matchup, or the first map of the week here. First engagement is between Solid Frag's S-Mart, who is sporting his Twitch TV logo, shoots Banana Slamma in the head. They thought he would back up and try to protect himself, and they didn't even bother to engage him again, so he gets 2 free easy ones there, and that one is a shame because that is just too easy against a team that needs to be as careful as GameSense is not being. Animal, the only one left, gets taken down by Madface, who has a double for himself in the bomb site there. Looked a little bit too easy. And by the way, Clay, that 3-2 take could have happened a little later. You're not in any rush. The rush only served to get your 2 guys on catwalk shot in the back of the head.
Yeah, and I mean, those were really good shots by S-Mart right there, getting 2 nice headshots, finishing those kills. And then what was a little strange was that they actually still committed to it, because the 2 guys on cat got killed way earlier before the 3 guys in apartments actually made it to B, so they didn't actually have to commit to that once that happened. They could have actually rotated out and tried something else. So
perhaps once those 2 people on cat went down, they could have reversed out and tried to see if anybody was pushing up behind them, but they never got the chance, and we'll never get to know because that's all revisionist history. Leafer's already down for the terrorists. It is their eco round. GameSense will have to make something out of nothing, which they look like they will not. Danimal, Dante, and the Dark Knights. Dark Knight, Batman himself are the only ones left. Christian Bale dies, and Dante, the only one left, will cough up the bomb, throw it right into the loft of the mid window. Another round for the counter-terrorists, as we can expect, Clay, because these are, of course, ecos.
Yes, and I doubt we'll see a surprise buy here from GameSense. The op very strong on this map. You can pick from mid, A ramp, and A apartments as well, and even B. I mean, lots of areas that you can pick from with the op pretty much everywhere, as I just stated. So, I mean, op is a good gun here, and I think they're going to be try to pick one of those up.
So, Clay, how much of this... Oh, we'll get to this in a second. It looks like a rush here. Jolteon's going to fire first. Gets a 1 trade there. That gun is delivered to the terrorist side, but it's going to come at a price because S-Mart has something to say about people taking free weapons. So only 1 death for the counter-terrorist there. Beautiful rounds thus far. In the scale of... in the scope of 3 rounds, I think they've taken 3 deaths total.
That's, they took 4, actually.
2.
Oh, the terrorists. Wait, no,
yes.
No, I'm sorry. Counter-terrorists. I was looking at the wrong thing. I was looking at assists. Terrible of me. But yeah, they only took 2 right now. Scotty and S-Mart and Madface, they're doing a great job for their team. They're really holding it down, but it is the gun round now. No op being bought on the terrorist side, so it's gonna be interesting to see what they do here.
Now, I want to engage the audience for just a moment here. We've heard from various sources that GameSense might be throwing this match because they think if we do the math here, if we lose a couple matches and then come storming back, maybe we'll get a playoff seed that's better than what we could have had we just played on through. I don't know if that's true, but you tell me. I want you to... Oh, wow, that was a nice shot by Banana Slam. I want you to tell me if by the end of this you feel that the GameSense squad is throwing this match. I don't think they will, but, keep your eye out. Leafer gets 1 thus far, 2 entries successful, and Madface finally stops the blood flow there. 2 counter-terrorists left. That's LP Brett and Madface here. They're going to have to do something to retake, and since they failed to do that together, leaving Brett by himself, I think he'll opt to save his weapon. He's just got to back out here before he gets surrounded. He's going to actually go for this one and lose his weapon on the count. They'll still be able to buy on the next round, Clay, but that's kind of painful.
Yeah, I probably would have opted for the save. I mean, there was a bunch of terrorists with super low health, but we know that CEVO config does not display the damage given by yourself, so you can't relay that to your team that, everyone was low on health, and they are going to go for the buy again, and we're seeing S-Mart picking up an op, so I would expect to see him playing either mid-window or playing from that connector area, or even picking a ramp, as that's actually what he's going to be doing, so...
Is S-Mart smart or S-Mart? I wonder. Look at his Twitch icon there. Nice, nice. Leafer lands a nice 2-tap on Scotty, who wanted to push up to the shipping or top mid, whatever you'd like to call it. He gets taken down. That's a nice early one. Not an entry, but mid control now lost for the counter terrorist. They'll have to play in 2 isolated cells at B and A and try to make a play there, which is much harder than having somebody spot for you at mid.
I'd agree, and look at this, we're seeing Danimal moving up here. Solid Frag, oh sorry, Jolteon gets the kill, and Dark Knight comes and cleans him up, but there's Esmar with 1 kill on Danimal, and now it's a 3 members in the A side, but they're getting picked apart here by Madface and Esmar. That's going to leave the Dark Knight all by himself. He needs to get on a ledge if he wants to Batman dodge someone, but that's not going to happen. He goes down. And
how
that's
many
gonna
bad
give,
Christian Bale references can we make in one match?
Too many.
We'll find out.
Too many.
4-1 Solid Frag. Clay, I want, really quick, your prediction. I got to think that in this matchup, if you have a team that's, quote, throwing it, you got to favor Solid Frag. But even if they weren't, I think I would still favor Solid Frag.
Yeah, I think so as well. Coming from, just the more experienced team, being from CEVO-Main, I think they have more experience, and I think they'll probably take this one. And with how it's going, it's definitely looking that way. And I don't know if I necessarily subscribe to the idea that GameSense is throwing, because once they got into the gun rounds, it really looks like they're actually trying here. So
3 on the ramp set up. That's the bomb 2. 1 in the upper A apartments or palace or whatever you like to call it, and a far lurk, the number 9 man. That's Dante. They're going to be taking here. These set smokes and flashes will be a test for Jolteon and Smart as they resist the oncoming rush. 1-1 trade thus far. Banana and Jolteon go down. 1 on top of the electrical for the counter terrorist is completely blinded. He will not be able to stop the bomb plant here, which is a minor victory in and of itself for the terrorist side, but Christian Bale eats 1, goes down in the bomb site. Leafer protecting from that back quad will spray down, gets 1, is peeking too far and punished because of that. Now at this level, Clay, if you peek too far, these players are too good. You're not going to survive that 3-on-1 encounter.
Yeah, I agree, and I mean, they did a good job smoking the site, though, and getting in there, getting the bomb planted. It was just their defense of the site was a little flawed. Whoever planted the bomb, I don't remember his name, unfortunately. He kind of got a little aggressive and peeked. He could have just taken a sheltered spot and actually just played the bomb a little bit better, and that probably would have helped his team out quite a bit more.
That was, of course, the Cape Crusader himself, Dark Knight, who you're referring to. He, I think those smokes were great for the entry. They had a great idea, thinking that they'd have a passive opera playing back at the ticket or CT stairs or whatever you like to call it. They threw a bunch of smokes, but a lot of them were off target, and they landed in the site, blinding a lot of people who needed the vital information. So, the Dark Knight got siphoned off from his teammates, unable to communicate the fact that he was alone. So 4 creeping through the B tunnels will be waiting for Brett, who is sitting back at the jail, thinking that I'm going to smoke this right now because I don't want them to walk right through. What the hell was that? Smart hits Leafer blind at the bottom of the ramp. Did you catch that?
I did not, unfortunately.
Oh my god. Oh, that was on auto director here. Bomb goes down. Brett's going to spray through. He's going to pick up a triple here. Starts to reload. Looks for the quad.
Oh my
drills
goodness.
it. That's a nice one. He's got a quad. The other one was on the other side of the map, which Clay lost. And I'm going to tell you what happened. Smart, standing on top of electrical quad, flashed, shoots somebody through a smoke while flashed. That's Leafer at the bottom of the T-ramp. What?
I'm not sure why GameSense decided to push through that smoke in the B apartments. It was pretty much suicide, as we saw. Brett had no problem defending the B side right there through the smoke, picking up the quad. And yeah, that's one thing that we learned from our buddy Flaren when he cast with us on Any Revival is walking through smoke, CSGO, extremely, extremely dangerous.
Don't know if we needed him to tell us that. Smokes are just walls in this game. And Leafer turns around, does a 180, and brings down Scotty. Clay, there are some phenomenal shots being made already here, and sometimes it's alarming how good these teams are. We just forget how much practice goes into being good at this game. That 180 spin by Leafer was a thing of beauty here. 2 setting up, actually now 3 setting up at the A ramp. It's a full-on commit to A with no other presence here. They've thrown all their eggs into this one basket, and they'll have a smoke prepared to smoke off, I believe, the mid-window man, who is Madface. So Jolteon, the only one fighting from ticket or CT stairs, throws a sky flash over the top to stop anyone and busting through. Nobody's reached the site yet, and this smoke will make it that much harder for Madface to contribute to this fight. He'll have to commit by running up to the staircase, has an op shot for the bomb planter, looks to put another one on target and misses. He's already done enough already for, no, he's done even more than enough here. He's made it even. If that shot was on target, he would have had a triple on the round here. He does, a quad on the round here. Dark Knight, of course, stuck in the site, has to clutch, will try to, cannot. Brett cleans it up. Defuse is going to be good. We're going to be on a 7-1 lead for Solid Frag. And remember, Clay, this is an even map. Like, giving up more than 2 rounds of a lead before you catch up on Mirage is crippling.
Yeah, it definitely is, and I mean, Madface was just pulling some crazy opping right there on the last time. I don't know if you, I'm sure you saw that from the perspective. He was just like super twitchy looking, and somehow was managed able to just connect those shots. Really, really good job by him. And look at this, now we're seeing the double op look from Madface and S-Smart. So I mean, if I had to guess, I'd assume 1 op at mid and maybe 1 over in the A ramp.
Yes, I would actually place those exactly where you said it, Clay. I wanted to make one little point here that when you play Counter-Strike for long enough, and this is sort of anecdotal, but when you play Counter-Strike for long enough and you can tell people's mouse patterns, there are just some people who are twitchy and can pull that off here. Nice twitch shot for S-Smart or Smart to pull up and adjust and hit Leafer there. I can tell when somebody is a natural twitcher, somebody's a smooth mouse placement person or somebody who's just going to sit and hold a corner. And we use this reference all the time. You can tell the Freakazoids apart from the Adrens of the world. You can tell the Leafers and the Smarts apart from the Scotties here. Scotty, by the way, who flanked all the way through T-spawn, catches Dante as he reversed direction, trying to switch the leverage of the map toward the other bomb site. That was B here. Scotty waiting on the other side. Wow, nice 2-tap there. Actually, that was a 3 burst. Danimal goes down, leaving the Dark Knight by himself, and he gets an off shot right in his shoulder while he was trying to engage another enemy. 8-1, Solid Frag leads, Clay, and it's so early, Clay, but I'm going to issue it already. GameSense has to feel the win-out pressure already.
Yeah, well, if they were planning on throwing this match, they're certainly doing a good job of it right now. I like the play from Scotty right there. You know, they've been playing pretty passive, you know, just playing their sights, but then he decided to go for the push, and it really worked out for him. You know, I like when counter-terrorists don't just play passively the whole time. I like when they do pushes and change up their game pace, and it really throws the terrorists off guard when that happens.
5-man rush here, and the hold was beautiful. Scotty getting 2, Jolteon getting 1 before being taken out here. Only 2 deaths for the counter-terrorists in a bomb site that was getting flooded with 5 terrorists here. Clay, at some point, it has less to do with the strategy and just a lot more to do with the sheer gun power and the aiming power here. It seems like Solid Frag is starting to flex some muscle.
Yeah, they definitely are. And one thing about GameSense is they haven't really been going B or testing B for that matter. You know, they just seem to be working A for the most part, and it's a little disappointing because, you know, one of the things about CS is you gotta poke around the map and figure out the personnel matchups, figure out who's not playing well or superb, and then that's pretty much what you want to try to exploit in this game. And they're not really doing that. As I say that, of course, they're checking out B this round.
That's absolutely true. You are so right, though. It's because GameSense, you know, when they were the big fish in the pond in CEVO Open and running over everybody, they probably could set up their set strats and just run it and just be done with it and win the round here. But in the higher divisions, you have to have a contingency plan because your strat is never going to work the way you think it's going to work, and you've got to have that in-game leader who can make that on-the-fly adjustment because of these sorts of fantastic players that you're playing against week in and week out. And for GameSense, they're sort of falling into a rut once their primary strat falls to pieces. And yes, you're right, it does tend to end up at A, where B might be a viable option for them.
Yep, here we go. See IP Brett doing some work here on the defense. He picks up 2, can't get a 3rd. He does, pulling out the pistol. Nice headshot. And that's the 2nd quad we've seen from Brett here over at B. And he's actually being a beast. He's not playing one static position. He's moving around all throughout the map. We saw him playing A on the defense and then also playing B by himself. So I mean, these guys, they're really changing it up, and it's causing a lot of pressure here for GameSense.
Should point out the fact that the last time he pulled off that big play at the top of the B tunnels on top of the white van, he finished it off with a signature P2000 last minute
yeah, just
headshot
like he
there.
did right there.
And he did it again, and that was really, really flashy. Love it here. Ramp setup, and I think we're going to get a charge here. Jolteon will charge the stairs, trying to take down more than one, but unfortunately he crouches instead of trying to peel out there. His teammates were nowhere to be found to help him, so he will trade out and just deliver a gun to the terrorist hands here. And considering it's a partial buy or a weak buy for the terrorist, this is something that kind of favors him. First one around the corner is the Dark Knight, lays down some DC Comics justice. One more. Madface, who's been doing this, by the way, every time he's had vision of the terrorists, has been absolutely dirty with this op here. And that one right there seals up a quad. And this is great individual effort from both teams, but really just the guys from Solid Frag. I just got to tell you, Clay, they've been consistently smoking Madface, and he hasn't been able to pull that off. That round, his vision was completely clean. And tell me, if you will remind the audience, how important it is to full buy so you can commit to a site and not make those kinds of errors.
Extremely important, as you said. You know, you want to make sure you have your smokes so you could, you know, take the advantage away from those operators so they can't just get free shots like Madface was getting right there, and that's one thing that hurt GameSense right there. And looking at the scores, look at this: 14-3, 13-3, 12-5, 11-3. Everyone on Solid Frag is just playing really well right now.
And I got to point out, 6-8 for Jolteon is not because he's playing bad, but because he's the point man at A. So he's fending off the ramp rush against 5 people every time, or 4 people when they rush, and he's taking a couple deaths here. Everyone's seeming on Frag, or yeah, Solid Frag, to be playing at top form here. Now GameSense, of course, tasked with first turning it around, you know, hitting their shots, then winning a couple rounds, and it's getting a little late in the first half to begin to pull that off.
Yeah, it certainly is. 11-1, definitely not the scoreline you want to be having on this map, even though it is pretty even-sided. And look at this Solid Frag picking up another one, and it's going to make it, oh, there goes another Madface with that op. He's in line to get a, man, he is just on fire with that thing. I can't even describe it. Dante, the last one alive, and I don't know what he's going to do here. He has an op. I mean,
he's got a minute. He's got a whole minute to live.
A whole minute, down 11-1. It's like, it's almost kind of like you have to go for it. I don't know.
So there's not a whole lot of opportunities to save this because good teams will come hunting after you here, but he will try to save it considering his posturing on the map right now. He's got a slim chance to pull it off because of how far away people are, but if you take a look, it looks as if Jolteon and Smart are on the hunt, and they'll come up behind him. Dante's got to have the game sense to think now, I should probably check behind me. He can hear somebody jumping up. First shot goes wide of Jolteon, and it might not be able...
Corner. I think that's pierceable.
With an op?
No, with the M4. He could have pierced right through that, I think.
Oh, I thought you were referring to Dante trying to hold on for dear life.
No, Dante was screwed.
Let's play nice. I want to buy a McNip. So do I. So do I, Bruce. All right, Clay. There's not much time left in this half, and not a whole lot of resources to turn this around here. Has there been even one flaw that you can sort of pick out in Solid Frag's lineup that you could exploit to give yourself even the slightest chance here?
I don't really know. You know, they've been, like I said, GameSense hasn't really tested B too much, or mid for that matter. They've really been mostly focusing at A, so I can't really tell if there's a flaw in B. So far we've seen Brett, you know, do a great job. He's defending right now, takes a nice shot right there on Dante. But, I mean, right now they're just playing really well, and I don't know if there's anything that GameSense can exploit to get a lead here. Or even a comeback.
If there is going to be anything exploitable, Leaper's got to find it now because he's alone in spawn facing off against Jolteon. Surely, even if he wins this battle, he cannot win the round, and he does not even do that. 13-1 for Solid Frag here. Solid Frag, of course, we know comes from CEVO-Main, and they could be one of the contenders to show up in the playoffs here. Now, a lot of people think that because a lot of ESEA transplants came over to CEVO for the season, that the ESEA transplants will automatically be in the playoffs, but there are a lot of ESEA teams who showed up for CEVO-Main. There's the Complexities of the world, Armada, iBuyPower, Reliable, Frost, Solid Frag. Did I miss anything? Power Players.
Yep.
You know, there's no guarantee that they'll be in the playoffs, considering that at the beginning of this season, transitioning from 2 to 3, they thought that this would be an easy meal ticket here. Madface going absolutely bananas, jumping down. Actually, I said bananas.
What is this sensitivity? Jesus.
I don't know. I have no idea, but it's effective for him, so go with it. Go on, young man. 14-1. Solid Frag has almost wrapped this one up. They've just got to put the bow tie on top of it. You guys are watching CEVO TV. I'm Cotton. My partner is Klops. You're watching Week 2. What? Oh. You're watching Week 2, Match 1 between these two CEVO-Main teams, these two playoff hopefuls. And yes, if you appreciate what we're doing, please follow the channel. Anything that you do to help us give you more resolutions, the best thing that you can help us with is getting us more follows. That will help us build a case here. Clay, I like the pain train. The number 9 man is going to be the one to find this ugly, ugly surprise. He'll hide in the jail. Here comes everybody. Dante, I'll move to him, is going to be an absolute ninja. He's got to be so patient here if he wants to make an impact. Hiding here, nobody has registered that he's here, Clay. I'm staying with him.
Alright, he's gonna... Oh, he had the chance to get the ball planted. He couldn't get it.
No! Stay with him. Stay with him. He can redeem himself. No, he can't.
No. Oh, Banana Slam, the only one left alive in a 1-versus-5 situation. Takes one down, but he's surely... Oh, a second. Nice headshot right there. Could he get the third? He does, and he's got health. He probably not enough to get this clutch going, but he needs to act fast as the bomb timer is ticking down.
How many shots did he... Oh.
That's unfortunate.
How many shots did Dante put under the armpit of the planter?
Oh,
maybe 6 or 7.
Many. It was too many. It was like, you know, maybe after the third one you realize, okay, my aim is completely off right now. I need to adjust this. But, yeah, he kind of just stuck with it, hoping maybe that it would just rise up into the left to his head, but it just wasn't happening.
It's like that conversation that you have where you're focusing so hard on not having the Freudian slip that you force yourself to say the wrong word over and over and over again. Dante having just the saddest time here. Leafer trying to make the ninja play by jumping into the mid underpass, but he gets caught and headshotted in midair. Another entry for Solid Frag. 2 more, in fact. Danimal and Banana Slamma going down. Dante finally repents, delivers the only frag of the round thus far, leaving Batman and his shot. I thought Batman didn't use guns.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. I thought it was against his, you know, karate credo or whatever. I thought we were gonna see a Nova quad from Banana Slammer once again, like we saw previously from the walnut, but he wasn't actually wielding the walnut. He was wielding a different skin, so I think that's probably why it didn't happen.
Oh, Batman was wielding a walnut. I was looking. He was.
Oh no, it was Batman was not Banana Slammer though.
Good games, good games. Thank you all for joining us. You have been watching CEVO TV. I'm Cotton. My partner is Klops, and yes, there is the possibility that Exertus versus Reliable could be happening today, and if we have reassurance that we'll be safe enough to pull that one off, we will of course try to do that for you. For those of you who joined us tonight, please do follow our channel. It is very, very important to us. It's yeah,
and if you follow, you'll find out if we do go live for Exertus versus Reliable later tonight. So
maybe. Are you trying to prod me into doing this?
No.
I'll ask you guys.
No, I was just getting the follows right there.
Okay. All right. So, Clay, for me, I think that are we off tomorrow? Are we off tomorrow?
I won't be here tomorrow. I don't know if you're going to be casting solo or if you're going to bring someone to go with you. I don't know, but yeah, I won't be here.
Okay, so potentially tomorrow, stay tuned. We'll have our landing page up, and I know that you guys weren't all here for our initial launch, but what I want to tell you guys is that we're going to be giving you more support on CEVO TV beyond just this Twitch channel. There will be a landing page to reflect our day-to-day schedule, our offerings, our past VODs, even other games if you have interests with multi-gaming, which I think a lot of us do. So stay tuned for that. Once we launch that page, you'll have an ability to forecast what events we'll have coming up, which is exciting for us and, of course, useful to you. So, Clay, if you will do the honors and sign us off for this evening, I just have to say the disclaimer, keep checking in with us on Reddit or our Twitch or our Twitter to find out the scheduling information, because in the near future, we'll have something even better to offer.
Yep, so as he said, go ahead and give us a follow on Twitch and follow our social medias. Check out our VODs that we currently have up. We've been casting CEVO TV for about a week now, so we got a few going up of some good matches. Check those out. Other than that, that's going to be it for us. I'm Klops with Cotton. You guys have been watching CEVO TV. Have a good night, everybody.
All right.